back to the third episode of Staging the City. We are at Cassie's Landing in Bothell, in a model unit that my team and I had the opportunity to stage recently for Castley Homes. And I'm very excited to have the team here with me today and be chatting about the project and introducing them to you all. And we'll start with Kishora.
This is Kishora. I'm one of the partners in Castley Homes. I'm very excited to be here and talk about our project, Cassie's Landing, where we put not only passion, but also quality into building these townhomes.
Yeah, hey, Larissa, this is Manoj. I'm one of the partners at Castley Homes as well. We want to talk about all the stuff we have done in this project with you, and we put in a lot of effort to build a really luxury homes, and we want to build a really luxury brand here. Hopefully, we'll be able to talk to you more about our passion and all the things that went into this project. Yeah.
My name's Julian. I'm the local real estate broker that's representing Castley Homes. Great luxury, and I'm excited to be a part of the project because nothing like this exists in Bothell. So thank you for having me on.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So first, I would like to ask you about the location of this project. How did you pick this particular piece of land, and how did you decide that luxury townhouses would be the right development for it?
Yeah, so great question. So how did we pick this location? So when I talk about location for a home, there are like three things that come to my mind. One is commute, to work. So this is a great place where within few minutes, I can be on I-5 or I can be on 405. I can, if my office is both in east side versus west side, I'm very well connected from this side. That's number one. So the second one that, I remember when I was choosing my first house, one of the biggest factors is education, right? North School District is an excellent school district. As my kids grow from like elementary to middle to high school, it's a natural transition. I can, grow a family here, right? That's another one. The third one is entertainment, right? Food, access to nice, excellent restaurants, and walkability to parks, right? Shopping, right? Bothell, felt like this is the place when we first looked at this parcel. Yeah, we got to build some really beautiful homes here.
It's a very livable area, and I really like the name you gave it. It kind of resonates with Bothell by having the word landing in it. Yeah. How did you come up with the name Cassie's Landing?
So when we bought the land from a landowner, we found out that his daughter's name is Cassie's. So we just thought, out of, to keep the memory of the landowner and give some credit to the landowner, we just thought we'll name it Cassie's Landing.
That was a great story. My next question is about what does a luxury townhome community add to the local real estate scene? Why luxury, and how did you come up with the concept?
When we started Castley Homes brand, one of the things we had a motto of a luxury should come as a standard, not as an upgrade. So for us to really build a unique product in this area, we really wanted to stand out from the regular builders who are doing like cut and paste homes. Essentially, they're like a standard options, standard things. We really wanted to stand out as a Castley Homes brand. When we took this whole property, Cassie's Landing, we thought we wanted to build a very different strategy where we wanted to have a 9-foot ceilings, and we wanted to have a unique gated community that nobody has in this area, So having a luxury townhome feel the gated community gave a really good perspective. When we designed this, we went through that entire exercise of picking the options, picking like a hardwood floors, then we picked KitchenAid appliances, we picked tall windows that are like uniquely structured in terms of give as much as light into the home. At the same time, we did a unique wrapping style of the windows that gives a luxury feel to this.
I really like that, and it definitely comes through even from the moment you enter this community. It took me by surprise that it was gated.
Yes.
The very first time that I came here, and it's definitely noticeable that the finishes are higher, and I really like that we have these 3 outdoor spaces, which is also not very common for townhomes. We have a bedroom on the main level.
And we even like put in a lot of effort to even pick a fence. Yeah. If you look at the fence style here, which is uniquely different than any fences you see across the board, right? when you go to your backyards, each of these backyards as big as a single family home. And when you look at these backyards, we wanted to give that feel to the homeowner where they can sit and enjoy a barbecue or like kind of have their friends over, not crammed into a small little spaces like a regular townhomes. So this is one of the ways that we always envisioned this and made sure that we build a very high quality luxury townhome experience here.
So Larissa, I just want to add one quick thing. You talked about gated community. Just want to add to what my partner said, right? You can feel luxury at every single corner in this house as you walk in, and in the community as well. So if you're speaking of the gate, right? So it had a lot of different features. For example, we thought about what happens in case of a ambulance or some emergency vehicle comes in. We set up an Opticom receiver, which is not common. So if an emergency vehicle comes in, the gate automatically opens. So that's how deeply we thought about every single aspect of living in this community.
Very interesting, and definitely some features that buyers should be excited about.
Yes.
So Julian, since you're representing the seller, the builder in this case, what is unique about this project compared to maybe other communities that you're selling?
Yeah, I mean, there's a long list of things that are amazing about this property. So when I initially toured it, I was surprised and in awe, right? The luxury really does stand out. You have the beautiful view of the backyard with the trimmed up trees. And, they recognize that you get sunlight back there, but there's not going to be, a ton. So with that said, they decided to put in turf, right? Nice turf with a backyard to where the homeowner, whoever decides to purchase, has the opportunity to plant some extra trees and kind of build their garden the way they want to do it. The gate is amazing, right? This is a safe neighborhood, but at the same time, it just adds a little bit more swag to the entire community. If you look at the exterior features, they're all different. They're not all the same. The trim work and, around all the windows. I mean, something as simple as the powder room that's placed in a very strategic area. So it's a part of the townhome, but it's not the feature. Too many times we go into these homes and we're like, hey, why did we place this here, place this here? I think when I first toured this townhome, the number one thing I thought about there was a lot of thoughtfulness that went into the build. They thought about all the finishes. They thought about the placement of the rooms. In the primary suite, the ascending roof line that goes up to the larger windows. That's just something that you don't see a lot of builders do in this area. So I was sold when I walked in.
So how does this influence the marketing, or is there any pressure coming on you from the perspective that these are luxury and have to be marketed as such?
No pressure whatsoever. This is one of a kind type of project. If I were to tour the other townhomes in the area, this is going to be completely different. And people want something that's different. They're raising the bar for the Bothell area with their luxury as their standards. So when I tour clients and they come through and they have nothing but great things to say, and all we do is talk about all the luxury items that are included standard in this townhome. So, I think there's really nothing negative that can be said about these. So it makes my job very easy in regards to showing the homes. And the staging is amazing as well. They come in to see a house, but the staging really makes it a home. So great job on that.
Yeah, staging really blends well with the entire things we picked in this home. And everybody loved staging in this.
I want to add one more thing. We're talking about living, right? Making this a livable home, right? One detail I'll just give you, right? Where do we put the mailbox? So we had an option there, right? The postmaster said put it on, Filbert Drive outside the gate. Manoj and I had a lot of conversation about how do we make it convenient. So we went and talked to the postmaster and convinced them that we're going to put it inside the gate. So people don't even know how to walk outside. Even when the gate is closed, you can just go get your mailbox. You don't need to, drive or, any place, right? That's how deeply we thought about living here. And one more aspect, I think Julian mentioned, you got a lot of great feedback as well. A lot of our homes here in this community have sizable backyards, which is not even common these days with a single family detached homes. You get kind of best of both, a luxury townhome with the backyard that is kind of suited for a really single family detached home.
And it's fenced as well, right? You don't see that with a lot of townhomes. Fenced backyards where you have a canvas to where you could pretty much, create any environment that you want. So
That's right. And I really like the low maintenance aspect of it too. I think that ties it well into the luxury market.
How did you what thought went into you when you did the interior, like the staging for this?
It all started when I did my walkthrough with your designer, who will introduce it a bit.
Yes.
And it was around the time that decisions weren't yet final on the finish, on some of the light fixtures, maybe some other details. And it gave me a sense of what aesthetics would go with this type of unit.
Excellent.
Yes. And now I would like to delve more into the finer details that are related to the interior design of this townhouse. If you have anything to add before we move on to speaking with your designer.
Yeah, sure. I need to jump out, but speaking of the designer, I've been working with her for the past 1 year on this project. I'll tell you one sort of small anecdote, right? It even goes into designing every single element of it, right? So the designer wanted a niche sort of in the master bedroom, right? She had a vision for how people would use it. The amount of communication back and forth we had with the supervisor is really amazing. It was not easy to get it, but we have given enough trouble. She has given enough trouble to the supervisor until she got it right.
Thank you for joining us today, Sirisha. You were my contact coming onto this project. You recruited me as a stager. I'm really curious to hear more about how you guys built a team and all of that. But I would like you to introduce yourself to my audience.
I'm a designer for Castley Homes. That's the title they gave me. So our first intention when we started off this project is how do we stand out? As Manoj was mentioning, right? One of the key aspects is everyone is building townhomes. How do we differentiate from rest of the market? One of my feature is we should just go all in as a house. No one should feel once you are inside this, no one should feel like this is a townhome. When you are inside, you should just feel like this is an individual house. When you take a picture of any corner in this house, it should just feel like, oh, wow, this house looks beautiful. Where is this? That's the impression that I want to get. And that's the design element that I want to bring in from this house.
Wonderful. I also tried to highlight through staging the fact that this is not the type of narrow townhouse floor plan that you see everywhere. It's just easy to furnish. I really like showing that to potential buyers.
It blends really well with all the choices she made and all the choices we made, essentially to make it like integrated experience rather than it's like a couch, it has to be here, but the color of the couch or the coffee table you picked, then all the stuff you did, I feel like really great about it. I know you did amazing job. I love it.
Thank you for that. And it definitely helped that you involved me early on.
Right.
Definitely gave me ideas of what direction would be more suitable to take when staging it.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, Larissa, I have a question for you, right? When I showed you the house, what was your first impression and what was the theme that you're planning to go with this house, looking at my design elements and all that? So, just would like to understand from your staging perspective, what's your thought and how you went about it?
Yeah, so first thing that I would notice were the clean lines, sleek fireplace, materials. And then when we had the conversation about the light fixtures that go over the island, I remember the exact word you used was that you decided to switch to something more dramatic. I made a decision in my head that this would look dramatic. For example, picking the rug. That's where I went dramatic.
Okay.
And blending in, I wanted to keep the level of contrast that you guys created with the black, the white, but I also wanted to warm it up. And I really like your choice for the flooring. I think coming in with some natural wood tones really keeps the whole thing flowing. We have contrast, but we also have the warmth of natural wood. We have stone and all those textures together. And we have the coziness of these sofas.
Definitely. I just want to add a small example of the warmth that you want to bring in, right? Regarding the wall color. We just put some wall color and, when we came and no one liked it. Everyone was under the impression, oh, it's blue. Everyone unanimously gave the same decision of it's blue color. Then we went and picked just for a wall color, just a small example. We went with 7 to 8 wall color samples to paste it on the wall, and we chose one out of that. It's like that's the level of details that went into it. Either it is blue, or it's too pink, it's too gray, it's too dark, it's too gloomy, right? So I want to bring the warmth and openness out of it. To pick the right color, it took me so many versions of it. So every single thing like that in this house has a story like that. It's like we went and chose the right material, quality, and in the longevity of it, everything it's super top quality, I would say.
I agree. The detail that Castley Homes put into this townhome, the luxury, all of that, something that hasn't really been done in the city of Bothell. I was pleasantly surprised how your staging was able to complement exactly what their vision was. And I don't go into a lot of homes to where I can see that that symbiotic relationship, to where you come in, just the little things where you see how many bedrooms, how many chairs do you need? Those are all things that you have a feel for. And that's why working with a professional like you is very easy. When I'm walking in, the first thing that I thought is, she made this house a home. And that's what everyone else is thinking when they come in here as well. It represents Bothell. It represents Castley Homes. So to be able to perfectly match exactly what the builder's dream is, as well as what potential buyers are looking for, I don't see it that often. So I just want to say great job to that.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so interesting. And this brings me to a follow-up question. Is there generally value in staging a new build? Is that something common that you see in your work? Or do builders think, oh, this house is already great, what would it need staging for?
I think most real estate professionals in our area understand that staging is a must, right? You have to paint the picture for the potential buyer to understand functionality of the home. When people come in, you need to do work for them, right? You need to say, hey, this is, we think, the best place for this. We need to accent and show off what the build is by giving these accents in regards to the staging. So I would say it's a must in today's market that new builders or brand new homes need to be staged, and they need to be staged to match the builder's vision. Because a lot of times when people go see homes, something's not right? They're like, oh, we like the build, but we don't like this. In this home, I've literally had no one say anything negative about this home. And to piggyback off what you're saying, yes, the other unit is 100 square feet more, and more people prefer this one. The other one has a little bit more natural light, and everybody prefers this one. And, not every day do people say, hey, I prefer the staged home. So, yeah, we've had a lot more interest on this than we have on our prize, which is the one on the end.
Oh, you're back. Good. Come down, sit. So,
Larissa, I just remember, I must say this, and I want to comment, right? Sirisha and I, we had few of our friends come in, their families. One of the best compliments that we got is their kids asking their dads to buy these homes.
Yeah. Our kids love it.
Some of them, they said, Daddy, buy this one.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you all for being.
By the way, their kids are not small. Their kids are like teenagers. Who is looking into the market? Yes.
And Manoj, did you guys talk about the trouble we gave to the painting contractor until we got the color right?
Yeah, we just talked about it. We said seven color choices, and we made him repaint until we get it right. That is the detail that we went through with this project.
It makes a big difference, especially when you expose it to different types of light.
Yeah. Great
job.
Thank you.
Great job, yourself.
And it's so much fun, and talking to you and all the great work you did. Good luck.
Thank you. And thank you all for joining me today and talking about this beautiful project. I really put my heart into it. This was very unique. Thank you.
Thanks.